So I can't hear myself just yet, but hopefully this will work the way I want it to work. So this is being done as feedback for just some things to put in the game. For example, I'm in the middle of my NBA Finals part of my career here, but we set the minutes for the players, like our player and I guess our teammates once we hit that certain level. We set that in one of the settings in the menu, but I think that we should be able to sit our player or make a decision to sit our player at random points during the game. So like if I'm in game, what is this here? I'm still down 2-1, so this is game 4. I'm getting my ass handed to me here in the first quarter. So if we're in the third quarter early on and I'm down by 30 or just getting blown out, and if I don't feel like pushing my guy and if he's already fatigued, I should have the option to say, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and sit him. It's not like the game is so involved that if I sit down that the fans are going to get mad or I lose fans. And if I lose fans, like, fuck it, it doesn't matter. Because a couple of games that I've played, more than a couple that I have played in this playoff series here, I think it was the second round. My guy had the little red battery next to his name when I was adjusting minutes. So like he was really, really tired, and it was starting to show as the games went on. Um, so in any case, I'd like to be able to adjust minutes on the fly while I'm playing the game. Um, what is something else here? Also, with respect to a bounce pass and let's say an overhead pass, there should be a way so that we can still do an overhead pass, but be able to icon pass it to overhead. So if I want to throw it to my center who's L2 on the icon, I should be able to get him a bounce pass or an overhead pass instead of just pressing the pass button to go directly to him. Damn it, get free. Also, with respect to fouling, so I was playing the Pelicans, I think, in the first round here, and Zion Williamson actually got 2 flagrant fouls on me. He fouled me hard twice in one game, and they ejected him. Um, but there was no cinematic for him being escorted off of the court. Um, I thought that there should have been something a little bit more to it, even just visually. Um, and then what about me on a hard foul? Like, so if me as the player, what if I want to commit a hard foul? I think we should be able to foul, like for example, the shooting, the aim function that was added this year on shooting, to me is way less useless than having the option of a normal foul or a hard foul. And maybe the hard foul, depending on the circumstance of the game, if it's situational, I get a kind of a adrenaline boost, especially if I'm fatigued or if my team is a little down. If I end up getting ejected, maybe that does something for the team. Maybe the coach gets ejected, and that does something for our team. There's so much to the game of basketball that is not being shit. So much to the game of basketball that is not included in this game that is supposedly, like a simulation style game. Also in practice modes. So some of the there needs to be some changes to practice mode. So I get it that, we have what, 5 options. Like we can pick from, for example, if I want to practice free throw shooting, I'll earn some points. It'll add to the badges that I have. Um, and until I max out the badges, of course, I can do that 4 or 5 times, or 3. I forget exactly what it is right now. But what happens? What if I just want to continue to practice free throw shooting? What if I'm really bad and like the shooting in this game this year? I don't know if it was refined or, I mean, obviously it was adjusted, but shooting was so much more difficult in this game. Now, my player is a pure slasher, I think. Um, and that's pretty much been my style for the past few years. But I know even with regular players or NBA players, it shooting the ball is difficult. And obviously, it's one of those things. Like I've seen some videos that say, you just got to practice this. You got to practice, and eventually you'll get good at shooting. And I can appreciate 2K wanting us, the players, the video game players, to spend time practicing to get good at something, because if it's too easy, then everybody's good day one, and then you got the guys that are really able to exploit certain aspects of the game, and well, then they're just super dominant, right? But with practice, even if it's not going to be able to give us points, that's fine. And that's crazy. I'd be dunking mad nasty dunks, and then this motherfucker here blocks me. But whatever, shit happens, right? Back to my point. In practice, we should be able to practice as much as we want, so that if nothing else, it helps us to develop areas of our game that are just difficult to work on outside of a practice scenario. Personally, I'm pretty good at free throw shooting. But I think like early on it was the contact dunks. And even though I'm a good dunker, I have a really high rating, um, it took me a while to learn that I just had to get my gather like further out. I was at first, when I was running those drills, I was starting my dunk motion too close to the rim, and I just couldn't finish the contact dunk. The other thing before I forget is badges. So I currently have, I think, like 18 badges or something. And that's all fine and dandy. I get it that, you don't want us, the individual player, to have, 40 badges, let's say, like LeBron James does. Especially, we go online and, let's say I got 35 badges, and then, you come in the game and you've got 6 badges that are bronze and silver. Well, it's almost not fair at that point, right? I'm sure that there's something that can be done there to kind of neutralize that for the PvP aspect of the game. But, and I guess technically I could have maybe 30 badges, but they're all only going to be bronze. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna, I'm not gonna have a bunch of like 15 gold and 4 purple or whatever it is. Hall of Fame rather. Um, you should be able to earn additional badges, and I'm not just talking about like the DNA Championship badge or the Gym Rat badge. Um, I know that there are some badges that come like after you win your championship and once you reach other certain milestones. But altogether, I'm not that bad of a defensive player in the game, and I should be able to strengthen, not only, let's say, acquire a badge, but I should be able to increase stat numbers in areas where I am really deficient. And obviously, 2K puts this game out once a year, so who's really playing, how many players are playing their My Career from 3 years ago? Probably slim to none. So when people play seasons through My Career, they probably play to the end, get to the finals, win their championship, and then, they move on to something else. Personally, I like to play 12-minute quarters as a simulation style game. Sure, I end up simming some throughout the season, but this year in particular, I noticed that it was like super easy to max out all the badges. I think I was probably, let's say, with at least 10, maybe 15 games left to go during the regular season, and I had already maxed out every single badge. So, I mean, what else can I do then? No matter how many blocks I get or steals I get or try to work on myself defensively, I mean, what, I can just never become any better of a defensive player? I'm stuck like this uh, with this archetype for the rest of my life. I mean, if that was the case, uh, you would have the NBA wouldn't be as dynamic. Guys get older, they're not as athletic, they have to change some of what they do. And I think we should be able to alter the course of our player's career in this game as well. And you can say, well, go ahead and just make another player, but that's not the point. I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to sit there and make another player. I mean, unless I actually want to make another player. Um, boom, boom. What else? Also, I mean, I don't know how much resource is put into, let's say, for example, if I'm working at 2K and, we're in a design meeting or a development meeting talking about the game, and in particular online, right? Obviously, you can't control the individual human who plays the game. And what I'm getting at here is like the toxicity. Like, I'm a grown ass man now. I'm not a kid. I'm 40 years old. I've been playing video games since like I was 8 years old. I remember playing live back when it was on Sega Genesis. Um, remember playing Larry versus Bird on Nintendo. And I remember playing NBA Live on PlayStation 1 and etc. all the way through until now. Um, I remember in the beginning, or years ago, I always used to think that it would be so cool to play other people online, but the game is not the same. The controls, the timing, the handling, the shooting, everything is so different online than it is here, let's say, playing a local match. And then you got the players, right? So even when I'm in the rec playing with the squad, you miss one shot and immediately some asshole in the room is like, "Oh, you're fucking trash, dude. You're fucking trash." And it's like, "Oh, shut the fuck up, man." Like, then I love it when the person that starts talking that you're trash, then they go on a cold ass streak and then they end up getting that little snowflake next to their name. And usually I just keep my mic off or whatever. But a couple times I've had to tell people, like, what were you saying? You called me trash because I missed a shot or had a turnover, and now, here you are being terrible. So, you shut the fuck up. But even then, like, I don't like that. I don't want. There's got to be something that can be done other than nothing. I don't know, but and I'm assuming that you guys talk about it, and you can say all these put whatever terms and conditions you want about fair play and how people need to be nice to each other and shit and whatever. And I mean, look, grown men want to talk grown men, but this is everything. I think it's just the internet toughness, internet gangster attitude. Oh man, fuck you. You ain't shit. Like, just it's something has to change because it really takes so much away from the online experience. Like, for example, again, I'm playing a rec game. We were down by a few points. My teammates weren't really talking to each other, and then I kind of started to hear them get on each other, but not in a positive way. Like, man, come on, you suck. And I was like, hey guys, look, let's pull it together. We're only down 6 points or whatever it was. and let's stay on them. Let's play good D. Like nobody is being a leader on the court. Um, I have taken the helm of the ship, if you will, on a handful of occasions. And there's been times when it worked out, and then times when we lost. And you know, like everybody's got to understand that. Look, people, it's a game. First of all, it's a game, and in basketball, the percentages. Well, it's not like baseball, let's say, but still, I mean, what's a career field goal shooting percentage for, let's say, even John Stockton? Yeah, he might be one of the highest all-time free throw shooters, but like that's not the norm. It is just not the norm. So if somehow that message could be conveyed to players, if they understand, like, look, you're not going to make all your shots. Shit's going to kind of go sideways occasionally, and that's all there is to it. But there's got to be something better, something that can be done that will make playing in the rec with other people a much more enjoyable experience. And also with respect to like even my career. So during this rookie season in my career, I stepped up the difficulty because in the beginning, I had to start a little bit lower just to get the hang of it. And then by the end of the season, I was playing everything. I played at least the last 30 games of my season in Hall of Fame mode. I played all through the playoffs in Hall of Fame. This game right here is in Superstar, and the one before this was in Superstar because I hadn't played in a few weeks, and I wanted to just kind of get readjusted. So the first game I played, I blew out Boston by like 30, and I thought, okay, maybe it's going to be too easy. And sure enough, here I am down by 28 points. But nonetheless, my point is, here I am, I'm playing a career, and I like to play the 12-minute quarters because I like it to feel as if it is an actual NBA game. I enjoy that 12 minutes, the clock management, all of those little things in a game. What I would like to see a little bit more realistic is the limitation on my ability to score 65 points night after night. And I get it, there's boost or whatever, and however you want to, chop that up as to performance enhancing drugs or whatever it may be, or just a player going through a hot streak, that's fine. But even though it's my career game, I don't necessarily want to be scoring so much. It starts to make the game unrealistic. I would like it so that if I scored, come on, give me the ball. Shoot it up. Like I saw somebody that was getting assists, and I mean, this guy might have had like 50 assists in a game. And okay, it's a game, maybe there's nothing that can be done about that because it's a game. But I mean, if you guys make the game, you should be able to make it so that even if it's an option where we say simulation, right? I remember this used to be an option on basketball games way back in the day, sports games in general. It would say, do you want to play arcade or do you want to play simulation style? And the simulation style was, all of the rules and rules you don't even think about. Oh, and also, why is it that there are only like 2 referees in this entire game? 3 referees, like the same faces all the time. Even if it's 6. So I got a woman here. I've got the white lady referee today. I know that there's a black woman, black female referee. But I would like to see the actual NBA referees. Some of those referees had personality back in the day, and I thought I think like we should be able to see them here. That would be cool. You should have their voiceovers in the game. Oh, I mean, what, you gotta pay them? So what? There's enough money being made in this fucking game that you could line fans in that first row and motion caption you could motion caption fans in this game to have a more authentic fan experience as you watch this game. There's enough money being made. Um, what else here? Now, obviously, this is PS4. It's a PS4 Pro. Um, I have not seen what PS5 looks like yet. I've heard that there are definitely some visual improvements. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this game looks really good, but there needs to be other visual improvements to the game. And even with the fans, for example, right? So this is an NBA final playoff game. Okay, I get it. The game is sold out. But every single game, whether it's home or away, whether I'm playing the best team and this is a primetime game or it's bottom of the barrel, like the stadiums are always packed. And that's just not, no, that should not be. I get it. NBA, 2K here with the sports, you're trying to promote basketball and that it's always fun and that it's always, I guess, action packed or something. But the truth is, it's not always like that, and that the fans are not always in the stands. If you're playing a my career, and if your team is bad, those stands should not be full. And everybody here has got like the same shirt on. I'll admit that the fans are better this year than they are in the past, but I mean, there's got to be some variety as to what type of clothing fans are wearing. A lot of games. Now I get it. This is an NBA final playoff game, so I know how they do. They sometimes they put out these same shirts and so that everybody has like the whiteout in Miami and the blue in Dallas, things like that. Okay, that's fine. But I would like to see the ebb and flow of the fans and the occupancy levels of the stadiums correlate with the production of your NBA team. And even then, just because the team is, maybe top 5 in the league doesn't mean that every single game is always sold out. Like it should just be like that. And we should see the fans getting up to and walking back with some drinks. We should see the concession person in the stands selling, beverages or hot dogs to the stands. Like, to me, that's just, it adds to that level of authenticity and realism of the game. Also, these half-court shots, like at the end of the quarter, this is fucking ridiculous. Every single half-court shot or three-quarter court shot always ends up like hitting the rim or just going in the rim and then popping out. Like, be real. How many? If you went through film of an entire NBA season and counted all of the shots that are heaved from half court, three quarter, or full, there would be a percentage that don't even hit the backboard. There would be a percentage that don't make it within 10, 20 feet of the backboard area. And then you're going to have shots that hit the top of the backboard, just the backboard, or that do hit the rim. There should be a little more diversity as to that type of shot. What else? And every year. So when 2K22 comes out, I'm going to end up buying the same fucking Jordan shoes or Nike shoes or Adidas shoes, whatever it is, that I've already purchased every year for the past 5 fucking years. Like, give us a break, man. Like, we're loyal fans. We pay good money for this game. We log crazy amounts of hours playing this game. Like, let us carry over our gear. I mean, we pay for this. Why? I get it. It's licensed. It's not necessarily a purchase, but come on. Or make it a subscription of some type and let that stuff be ours. I shouldn't have to, constantly repurchase the same items. And I know that you kind of did that this year, I think, with some animations or dunks, but still, it's ridiculous. And also, with respect to the Jordans, the library of Jordan shoes from the store it's abysmal. Like, it's trash. There's at least, like, what, 24, maybe 36 pairs of different Jordans that come out each year, and y'all don't have even a fraction of them. And instead of making them so expensive, man, just come on, make it so look, I'm a grown man. I got a full-time job. I got my own business. Like, I can buy whatever I want in this game. If I want to go play my team, and if I want to drop $2,000 in cards, I can fucking do it. But you got little kids out here that, kids and maybe people that aren't making that kind of money, and they want to enjoy aspects of your game, but they can't. So you're really saying this is an elite item. It's only for the people with money. That's what you're saying. And that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, especially when you have, game glitches and other areas of the game to work on. And then also back to practice. So, I know that you will allow us here to pick plays from, we can alter our playbook, make a custom playbook. But then in order for that to really be usable, we absolutely must be able to play during practice with that playbook, and then change the plays in the playbook during practice, and run that same play. Run that same play 100 times so that we know exactly what's going to happen. Now, maybe these things don't exist because, there's really not a high number of players, or maybe the demand for what I'm asking for is really low. But to me, everything that I've just said about this game would only make your product better. I have to imagine that somebody at 2K has brought every one of these ideas to the table. Why are they not being implemented? I get it. Once we start out at the bottom and we're scrapping to get there, right? And then once we're at the top of the game, and 2K it's a monopoly, that it's the only game out there. I mean, because live really, no. In my opinion, live is just not comparable. I don't know what happened to them. Live used to be the game, but then 2K took over. So we really don't have another option for basketball. But there should be. And I think y'all need to really listen to us, the fans, and put the stuff that's in there. And instead of coming out with, a brand new game every year, I think it should be something more of like a subscription type service. Something's got to change in general with this game, because really all we're paying for is the updated rosters, right? So if I agree that I'm going to go ahead and pay you every year, then let me keep everything that I've had from the year prior. You're guaranteeing, that you sell X amount of copies of this game, okay? However many millions they are. That you're going to sell it for X amount of dollars. That's guaranteed income every single year for the next 10 or 20 years. budget it in, man, and figure it out. They're like, okay, so if you don't get the revenue off of us buying the same shoe every year, then release new types of content within the game, even if it's just aesthetic content, clothing or whatever. Release new and truly unique, interesting items so we can say like, hell yeah, that I want. And I don't necessarily like the idea of having all this stuff boosted, because you never know who's boosting what, and again, maybe certain players can't afford it, and they kind of feel like they're at a disadvantage. And if I mean all things are equal, if we have the same player and the same skill set, and if I have a boost card, well, guess what? I'm gonna be better than you, or vice versa. And then also, when it comes to trades, so I know that I can influence the trade a little bit. Like I can put in a request of who I'd like to see. Damn it. But I have no influence on who we send out. And I would like to know that if I say I want Paul George to come and play with me, I mean, if you're gonna present it to me, the my career player, that hey, you're such a valuable asset of the team that we'd like you to influence who plays with us, and you can influence trades and stuff. Then if that's the case, then I need to know if I'm requesting somebody to come, who's going to leave, who are we giving up for that player coming here. Maybe even I might have to give up number 9 in my roster order, but I really like him. He's one of my key guys. Um, what else? What else? Trying to be as detailed as possible and get this all off as quick as possible. Um, what else? I think that's it for right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this here, and I'll forward this off to the devs, and that's it. This your boy Dirty Bomb 32, and this has been hopefully something that somebody will take away. Hopefully, there's something in all of this that you can take away and say, okay, look, let's get some of these things in. And I think at least a quarter of whatever I have referenced in this piece here, you could patch this in before the next game comes out. It doesn't have to be a total revamp. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Later, y'all.